Well, there's a lot of stuff that has happened in about 96 hours at Dodger Stadium. And the latest is the loss of the star pitcher, Julio Urias.
Oh, yeah.
Arrested 11 o'clock Sunday night, felony domestic abuse with his wife. Second time in 4 years. This is really bad because the first time in 2019, he shoved his then fiancee and she fell. Arrested, domestic incident. She refused to file charges. Police did not arrest. They did away with the arrest warrant. Case was dismissed. Baseball investigated, said, no, you shoved her, you knocked her down into the curb, 20-game suspension. He went through a year's 52 weeks domestic abuse counseling program.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed out of trouble till Sunday night at 11 o'clock. He was at the LA Galaxy Inter-Miami MLS soccer game and evidently was involved in another domestic incident with her. We don't know whether it was verbal abuse, whether he shoved her again, whether he actually struck her, or whether he choked her. But it was a felony arrest. He was in jail from 11 p.m. till almost 5 a.m. on Monday morning when he finally got bailed out. He's been removed from the Dodgers, been put on the commissioner's exempt list. That means MLB investigation begins. The fact that he'd already been an abuser in the eyes of baseball, he's probably going to get a 60-game suspension into next year.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's really bad. I think what the Dodgers need to do, if I were king, considering what the Dodgers came through a year ago this time with the Trevor Bauer situation, I think the Dodgers need to do an intervention with Julio Urias and his agent, that guy, Scott Boras. They need to have him tested for alcoholism. They need to have him tested for drugs because nobody does this to his wife a second time. He's an impending free agent, which damages credibility.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the middle of the playoff race, going to postseason. I seriously doubt he's going to be part of the team as September turns into October. So I think the Dodgers need to do an intervention and try to solve this situation. So we got that. Then we got that headline, the feud between Scott Boras and the Dodgers over the handling or mishandling of Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger, MVP 3 years ago, got hurt in a World Series celebration, shoulder surgery, came back, had 2 miserable seasons. Guy goes from a 300 hitter, hits 195 and 210, loses his power, strikeout victim, just looks so out of sync at home plate. Dodgers had an option for this season. We're not paying you $18 million a year. We never solved why you couldn't play back to where you were. So he goes to the Cubs, friendly confines Wrigley, wind, hitting 319, home runs, playing a Gold Glove center field. It's like he's reinvented himself. Maybe the confines of Wrigley have a lot to do with it. This past weekend, Agent Scott Boras popped off and indicated the Dodgers share blame for what happened to Cody Bellinger. You know, almost insinuating they forced him on the field to play while he really was not 100% healthy coming off the shoulder surgery. Dodgers got really up in arms. The Dodgers said he followed every metric we had in terms of rehab from shoulder surgery, torn labrum. You, by the way, Scott Boras, have the Boras Health Institute, which treats your own clients with special medical outside of the circle of our treatment. How come you're not taking any blame with the Boras Health Institute for Bellinger's 195 and 210 batting order? So the Dodgers shouted down Scott Boras. And now Boras backtracks. First time I've ever heard him backtrack and saying, well, I wasn't insinuating that the Dodgers abused him or didn't treat him correctly. Well, the junk that came out of your mouth, your quotes the first time around, those were pretty harsh. So you got that situation on top of it. I don't know where the Dodgers are going to go postseason now. You got Kershaw and the kid rookie, Bobby Miller's won 9 games.
Wow.
But do they have enough starting pitching if they got to rely on all the rest of these kids as we go to postseason? And if that wasn't enough, those were the Atlanta Braves that took the air out of the balloon. I mean, Atlanta beat them Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, beat them down with home runs, etc. Dodgers won only one game there. So all is not well with the Dodgers. So your topic on the table is Urias, Scott Boras, and suddenly LA in trouble.
This is an amazing set of pieces of news here. I mean, first of all, as far as Urias goes, they have to drop the hammer. They have to take a hard line here, especially since they were quick to jettison Bauer. So from the Dodgers' point of view, they have to be consistent. But Major League Baseball needs to come down hard on this too. I mean, it's ridiculous that there can be people committing felonies, abusing people, in this case, domestic abuse, and still be able to play. I mean, I'm shocked that Marcell Ozuna is still even playing in Major League Baseball. So, but yeah, that's a big difference in the Dodgers pitching rotation. And what, Gonsolin is gone, right? I mean, a lot of these other guys have been hurt or been gone. But go back to Bellinger. So I just remember that when he was coming back, there was a period of time, and I was spring training into one of the years, where the dude could not even make contact. He was so pathetic. It was like it was more mental than it was physical.
It looked mechanical, and then suddenly it looked as if they worked with him to change his stance, the location of the bat. Nothing worked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you go 195, 210 from a 300 hitter, and he looked so out of sync. And I remember early on when we started these podcasts, when we were friends, we were talking about the fact that maybe he doesn't take instruction well. You know, maybe it's on him. But he flipped it at Wrigley Field. This looks like the Cody Bellinger that was at Dodger Stadium the first 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he does look really good now.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is kind of a crazy comment, but he does look, a lot of times he looks like he's stoned. So it makes you kind of wonder what's going on. But with all respect, he has really turned it around this year.
And
So
he bet on himself. It's a 1-year contract.
Yes.
He goes back into the free agent market with that guy.
Yeah. So he's going to get a lot now. Because now he's the old Rookie of the Year MVP, Cody Bellinger. So where's he going to land? I've heard rumors about the Giants, the Padres. Who knows?
We shall see where that one goes. So we